I mean, do I have to teach all the classes myself? I want to, but I actually asked for it. I said for the fall semester, give me finance 324 and 420. They said, oh, you haven't suffered enough. We're going to give you 3 sections of finance, business 302. I love teaching that class, don't get me wrong, but they think it's a punishment for me because it has 40 students in it, and it's not all finance majors. But when I say bill, you understand that it's billions. Okay, we have an expression like that in Turkey. There's a little uh, snack we had. It's basically made out of roasted, dried up chickpeas. The name for that is leblebi. Okay? So the expression is, as soon as I say leb, and leblebi is famous in a little town in Turkey called Çorum. So as soon as I say leb, you guys say Çorum, okay? But for non-finance majors, I don't get that. But that's okay. I go into different moods. I'm in the Donald Rumsfeld state of mind. I teach the students I have instead of like students I'd like to have. That's not always the case for a lot of professors. Teaching finance majors is a lot more fun, don't get me wrong. Because, I don't have to limit myself to simple stuff. But they said, oh, you teach only international finance for the fall and 3 sections of Business 302, which is great for my prep stuff. But when I teach Finance 421 the next time, those guys haven't come through my 324. So I used to make that up in the derivatives class, but now that we almost kind of phased out the managerial finance major, there's not much demand for it. So I'm kind of moving the content into other stuff, but we'll see. And how do you not teach futures in an investments class? What a futures contract is, it's basically a forward contract that's traded on exchange. Here, this means there's a expiration date to it. Typically, it's third Wednesday of the contract month. So if it's the March contract or February, let's go talk about March contract. We're talking about March 15th or so. If you go to quotes, come on. You're making an agreement with the exchange that you're going to buy or sell 125,000 euros. That's the contract size. You can only do in multiples of that by paying $108.94 per euro, or the other way around. As the maturity changes, they change. Since they haven't shown you forwards and stuff, when we're doing Black-Scholes, I'll cover that too. But when you trade a forward contract on an exchange, that is called a futures contract. That's all there is to it. But the nice thing about a futures contract, from the purposes of a speculator, you don't have to put a lot of money to control them. For example, 8 contracts of the Euro futures is about 1 million euros. I'm doing age so that I can round things up. If you take a position short or long, short means you make money if euro goes down against dollar. Long means you make money if it goes up against dollar. Per contract, exchange is going to ask you to pay $2,100 as a collateral, performance collateral. Because if you lose money, forward contracts technically are settled at the end. But if you lose money, somebody has to pay for that. And exchange says, as a kind of collateral, pay me 2,100. If it's 8 contracts, that's going to be 16,800. Let's round it up to 20. Okay. So using $20,000, you're controlling a position that is worth over $1 million. In fact, it's about $1,080,000. That's an extremely leveraged position. Okay. That means if euro goes up 1% in value against dollar, you're gonna make let me see, about 50%. So you're making 50% return on your collateral. That's highly leveraged. Why do you think that's low? Because over short periods of time, exchange rates do not move that much. Let me show you another exchange rate. CME futures on Kiwi. That's the little nickname for New Zealand dollars. Specs. Yeah, the contract size is 100,000 New Zealand dollars. So that's roughly 65,000 US dollars. And let's look at the margins. 1,400. I mean, on an equivalent basis, that's more than the 2,100. The more volatile the pair is, the more margin. In fact, if you did this for Russian rubles or Turkish lira, it's even much bigger. Why? Because the chances of losing more money is higher. That's why the margins. On Robinhood, if you bought Google on margin, basically they're going to ask 50% initial margin. That means if you have $100 of your own money, Robinhood is willing to lend you another 100 so that you could buy Google. If you ask the same thing for a relatively small company, let's call, let me see. Oh, so this IonQ. It's kind of a quantum computing company that hasn't made much money yet. I'm just following it to figure out when to invest in it. Okay, for this guy, Robinhood asks you to put up, if you buy $100 worth of this stuff, 56 has to be your own money. And if your equity goes below 45, they're gonna do a margin call on you. Okay? For Google, it's 50 versus 25. Why Google doesn't move as much? I mean, this guy moves quite a bit. Let's do 1 year. I mean, in 1 year, it's seen 475, almost $20, and back to 1058. If it comes down to $7, I'm going to actually buy a long-term option on it. But that's my own position. I mean, there is some future in quantum computing. That's where the VAR comes in, right? Kind of running short on time, so I'm not going to talk about, at least not today, there's an extension of value at risk. It's called the expected loss. It's kind of technical. The idea is VAR tells you the level of money that you would lose with 95% or less probability, not kind of the statistical expectation. And the idea is the following. You can write a function for that, but I'm not going to do it now. It's come on. Expected value of x given that x is less than or equal to VAR 95. So what we're gonna do is kind of like average the function, average all the returns, but only the returns that are below 95% or VAR 95. Let me see if I can quickly do it, because I want to briefly talk to you guys about the portfolio. There's a function called average if. And this is the range where you're evaluating the test. I'm going to do a simple version of this. Given that it's less than negative 0.06 and average these. This is the expected loss. So let me kind of do it here. And VAR was simply this. This is on a percent basis.